Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1404. 1404. Hi, I'm Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. I did a show. I posted a new show, last evening. So here we are in the morning. And I've had no sleep. Thank you. 5 hours of sleep. Maybe that. Ugh. Hey.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'll get into why that happened, but I'm broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The last place on earth, and today we hear from the Brewmaster, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and Benita. She's so much faster than me at coming up with these rhymes, and she has this kind of a Leanne Rimes type thing going on with the way she is.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
'Cause she's Benita, the rodeo queen. Yeah, so what happens at my weekend job is
Mike's
if the
Daily
young millennial
Podcast
decides he's not gonna work, I have to fill in for him, which means I gotta work till 10 o'clock at night. Then I gotta be home, and then I gotta be at my next job at 5 in the morning. So, that's just not enough time, my friend. You can't wind down, sleep, and then get up and get stuff done, and then be ready for the egos in the morning. If you know what I'm saying. Look who walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How you doing?
It's this Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
Are you saying that we're a bunch of egos?
No. You're wonderful people.
Thanks, Mike.
Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make a delicious root beer. Oh, boy.
There's your delicious root beer. Wonderful.
That's all I had.
Okay. Brewmaster there, everybody. Yeah. I know. Don't make them mad.
Yeah, I'll cut you.
See? That's how it goes. Folks, what happened was, so the millennial said, I'm not going to work this weekend. So then I had to work for him. And I'm just, sleep is kind of a big thing for me. And lately I've been getting none, so
Here's today's podcast picture.
I'm a little bit upset about that no sleep thing. And the podcast picture today is of me and the wonderful Basil the Boxer. And he's wondering what's going on. I think that irritates me more than anything, is that I'm messing up my dog's life. Because dogs like to have consistency. And I work with a lot of inconsistent people. And that upsets me. It's like, come on. The fact of the matter is my weekend job should have in place a substitute ready to go. And so that I don't have to, it's all because they do not have a substitute in place. They didn't do the work ahead of time that it falls that I have to do an 8-hour shift that ends at 10 p.m. at night. And it's all their fault. And they need to get with it. I'm just tired of the laggards, my friend. I'm tired of the people who are late, who are an hour late to work. I'm tired of trying to cover for people. I'm not going to be a stool pigeon, but at the same time, you can't push me too far, or I get very upset. That's all. That, and I'm done with love. I'm giving up on love. Last show, I outlined exactly why. And that people are, the women in the Bay Area, every time I pursue one, I get my heart broken big time. And I'm sick of it. I'm at that age where, you know what? What's the effort? Why throw the effort into it? Why do it? I'm going to do my own thing. People got to love me for me. And that's how it's got to be. And it's got to be a Blessed Union of Soul type song. Do you even know that song? She loves me for me, not because I look like... So I talked to someone yesterday who told me they bought tickets for Ed Sheeran. And they spent over $600 for 2 tickets. Hey, you know what? Go for it. Whatever. I do not understand Ed Sheeran. $600 for Ed Sheeran. Come on. I do not get it. The guy, I don't see the overarching, the arc. The overarching arc. Okay, that's well put, Mike. Of his career so far, to me, is a bunch of bad ballads. A bunch of slow songs, and oh, he's so emotional. Oh, look, he's got red hair, and he's so funny with James Corden. Oh my God, he's so funny, and he's like British or something. Ugh, I don't get it. I don't. Why would you spend that much money to see? Well, and the one thing that I picked up from the morning show that I produced at the Money Station is that people spend money on the stupidest stuff, and then they only have themselves to blame for when they look at their bank account and go, oh my God, I got no money. I mean, Ed Sheeran, she spent this girl I know who bought these tickets. She buys tickets for everything. The problem is she likes music too much. And I know that can be a problem because you're just throwing money at ridiculous Ed Sheeran. Okay, I can understand if, I just happened to go see a local band and I'm supporting my local band that, they're really good and they're talented. Oh my God, Ed Sheeran just happened to show up. That's fine, but not paying money to go to a concert where you're going to get stuck in crappy parking and then you're going to listen to it's not going to sound as good as it did on the record that you liked. It makes no sense. And you know what? The only times I've ever paid money for huge concerts was because I was pressured into it by a stupid friend. Oh my God, Rush is in concert. We gotta go. We're gonna go. How much are they? Oh, they're crazy expensive and we have to sleep all night in the Macy's parking lot. But it's the May Company parking lot to get Rush tickets. We gotta sleep in sleeping bags. Outside. It was ridiculous. Ugh. Support your local bands is all I'm saying. All I'm saying is support your local bands. They make good music. Better than Ed Sheeran. And they got talent. And they're struggling. They're working as hard as they can. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Oh yeah, and don't listen to frickin' NPR podcasts. I'm getting sick of NPR. I talked about it last show. The fact that they promote their stupid podcasts during their actual broadcast where they should be filling up that time with important information about what's going on in the world. And then I hear a stupid thing about their frickin' podcast that has to do with, people send in their voicemails of why they're happy, why the week was good for them. Oh, it's crazy out there. Washington's crazy. Trump is crazy. So send us your voicemail of why the week was good. Oh, come on. The government's always been crazy. Headlines have always been crazy. You can worry yourself sick looking at headlines. Hey! Jeff Moss, the head of Black Hat and DefCon, is on C-SPAN 2. Indicators, that's right. I was just listening to that podcast on the way in. Fascinating guy talking about hacking. And Vincent the Bay, who's been on the show. Vincent the Bay, he went to that. Talking about hackers. And Jeff brought up a very interesting point about how people that had an implant, the company that made this particular implant, they said, no, hackers can't get into that. And a hacker said, watch this. Da-da-da-da-da, got into it. No one got hurt, but then the company was like, what? Oh! And then it was, hey, the federal health company that oversees all this, you need to oversee the Internet of Things more. And I hate that expression, Internet of Things, but it's a part of our lives now. So NPR, stop promoting your stupid podcast during your broadcasts. Stop it. Stop it. And I can promote my podcast because you're listening to it. And I just wanted to quickly say that I have a website, mikesdailypodcast.com. That's all I'm saying is that. And that if you'd like to help us out through the Amazon link, there's an Amazon link there. Click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to buy on Amazon that helps support us. There's also a PayPal there if you'd like to support us that way. And you can hear past interviews and see past podcast pictures, all there at mikesdailypodcast.com. The podcast picture today was of me and Basil the Boxer in Benita. And we're sitting at the marina, and this couple walked by. And they were at some kind of wedding. Oh, no. They were at somebody had just turned 100 years old. And they were at the local yacht club. And they were having a good time, and they had decided to take a little walk. And they saw me sitting there with my dog. And I said to them, hey, can you take a picture of me? And they said, sure. And let me tell you, the female half of this couple, so lovely, in like a summer dress. That was a wonderful... they should have taken a picture of themselves. They were a lovely couple. But anyway, you can see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com as well. And now we get to the segment called the Mic Tip.
Yo, the Mic Tip.
First off, Putin. When Russian President Vladimir Putin announced yesterday that the U.S. Embassy and consulates in Russia would have to cut 755 diplomatic and technical staff, many people had the same thought. We have 755 diplomats in Russia? That seems like a lot. We don't have 755 diplomats in Russia. What was Putin talking about? The U.S. government employs more than an estimated 1,200 people in Russia. The majority are hired by the Department of State, charged with running the U.S. Embassy and consulates, visa processing, and handling other diplomatic tasks. But it also includes employees of dozens of government agencies and departments like Department of Defense, Department of Agriculture, NASA, even the Library of Congress. Collectively, this is the U.S. Mission Russia, or just Mission Russia. And Mission Russia employs an estimated 1,200 people because the U.S. Embassy in Russia and State Department have not responded to the Washington Post for data about how many people are employed in Mission Russia. So that's what it was about, supposedly, to the Washington Post. And this author who can't write for crap, Andrew Roth. Get it together, Andrew. Right about now, Sylvia's like, Mike is angry this morning. Yeah, 5 hours sleep, Sylvia. 5. If that. Ugh. And then my dog, Basil the Boxer, when he woke up this morning, he had a limp. I don't like this. The limp was gone by the time I left for work, but I hate that. I hate all this life happens at once, doesn't it? So many things. Well, it'll get better. That's what I feel about the whole situation. It'll get better. Hey, for tens of thousands of people, this was interesting. The 2 Outer Bank Islands of North Carolina, authorities said all 3 power lines to the remote island had been damaged and electricity could be out of commission for as long as 2 weeks. They only have 3 power lines powering an entire island? Wow. The Outer Banks is a string of barrier islands spanning most of the North Carolina coast. They are served by 3 underground power cables from the mainland. A construction company building a new bridge to one of the islands accidentally drove a steel casing into a power cable. One of the cables was completely severed. The other 2 were compromised. And then 70,000 visitors and vacationers had to evacuate those islands under 2 mandatory orders issued by Governor Roy Cooper. Most were able to drive off Hatteras Island, which is served by the only major bridge to the islands, while the rest have slowly made their way by ferry off of Ocracoke. Those are the 2 biggest things in the South, Coke and okra. Every single soda in the South is called Coke. Let's say I want a 7-Up. Y'all want a 7-Up? Sure, I'll have a 7-Up. Okay, cool. I'll get you a Coke. You all are welcome. Did I tell you what egos Benita and the Disgruntled Fiddle Player are? Mark, that's really great. We gotta go. Bow, bow. What a jerk. I hope at some point we can patch up that relationship. Donald Trump's new chief of staff has entered the West Wing, battered by crisis. His name is General John Kelly. Previously the Homeland Security Secretary, he took over today from the ousted Reince Priebus. Trump, and wasn't Reince just defending Donald Trump Jr.? He did all that work and he still had to leave. That sucks. Trump hopes that Kelly can bring some military order to an administration weighed down by stalled legislative agenda, a cabal of infighting, West Wing aides, and a stack of investigations. Still, Kelly's success in a chaotic White House will depend on how much authority he's granted and whether Trump's dueling aides will put aside their rivalries to work together. Also unclear is whether a new chief of staff will have any influence over the president's social media histrionics. Former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski, who was ousted from the campaign back in 2016, said that he expected Kelly would, quote, restore order to the staff, but also stressed that Trump was unlikely to change his style. And finally, back to the guy that I mentioned earlier, Josh whatever. Was it Josh Stone? No, that's something else. Anyway, the guy that started DefCon, that I was talking about Vince in the Bay going to in Vegas. It took 5 hackers to break in to a voting machine. It took less than a day for attendees at the DefCon hacking conference to find and exploit vulnerabilities in 5 different voting machine types. Actually, it was more than 5 hackers. Okay, the first ones were discovered, they hacked into 5 machines. The first ones were discovered within an hour and 30 minutes, and none of these vulnerabilities had ever been found before. They're all new, said the co-coordinator of the event. One group even managed to rickroll a touch screen voting machine, meaning that the touch screen started playing that Rick Astley song, Never Gonna Give You Up, Never Gonna Let You Down. The Voting Machine Hacking Village event at the 25th Annual DefCon Computer Security Conference ran from Friday to yesterday. Its goal was to educate the computer security community about potential weaknesses of the voting systems used in the U.S. elections and fix them. By all accounts, it worked. Conference goers thronged to the room where more than 30 voting machines were laid out in various states of disassembly. The machines themselves were mostly bought on eBay. Only one of the models has been decommissioned. The rest are still in use around the country. Ad hoc clusters of attendees hunched around each of them, murmuring quietly as they tested various inputs. Every once in a while, someone would call out for help or advice. Anybody got a card scanner? Did somebody have the manual for the Diebold? Several groups took part. Others found ports meant for election officials and plugged computers and testing devices into them to see what they could gain access to. Wireless and networked hacks were also attempted. But much of the work didn't involve hacking at all. One attendee said it just took a couple of hours on Google to find passwords that let us unlock the administrative functions on this machine. Now we're working on where we can go from there. Wow, this according to USA Today, and Elizabeth Weiss wrote that article. As we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Okay, hacking into the voting machines. It's back to paper, my friend. Frick. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's show. It's going to get better. This week will get better. I have so many plans for this week. I hope they all get done, my plans. They go off without a hitch, I hope. We shall see. And hopefully Basil's limp will go away, but you know, we can only take one day at a time, right? So have a good day today, this Monday. And next show will be Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!